Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Guy live here with my co-host, the Butcher.
Hello.
Hello, Butcher.
How's it going, David?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic.
How was your weekend?
Dead.
It's always dead.
It's always dead. Well, where I go and work, it's dead.
Anyways. And I want to bring in our guest today. He is a Santino Bros alumni, referee, Jeremy Marcus.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Great to have you here.
Good. Did you watch Raw 25 last night?
I did.
Yeah?
I did.
What was your favorite part?
It was a fun show.
Really?
I always loved DX growing up, so any DX reunion, I'm all about it.
Well, not too long ago, we did had last week we had Billy Gunn, and
The week before, X-Pac.
and it was
Oh,
X-Pac.
really?
Yeah, they were here.
I know you should have came down.
I know. Well, I heard Billy Gunn tore it up at Bar Wrestling last week.
Yeah.
Wow.
I heard all about that match.
Yeah. What was it? So DX was your favorite part of Raw 25?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I liked the whole setup that they had. You know, it was a pretty nice set that they did. It was pretty cool.
I was surprised to see the IcoPro banner was still hanging up.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they
I
still
saw
have
a picture of that. Yeah, I was like, okay, I don't even know what that is, but it's funny.
How about you, Butcher? Did you have a favorite part of Raw last night?
You know what? It was good seeing, of course, the legendary stuff and some of the tributes and videos. I thought was pretty cool. Excuse me. But I wish it could have been a little bit more done. And if you look at the original venue when Raw had it, someone put it on Facebook. People were booing because there were no wrestling matches going on. So
mine was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Anything
that's
Stone
great.
Cold and Daniel Bryan.
he's a huge mark for.
I am. I'm a huge Daniel Bryan mark. What can I say? Gosh, I mean, geez. You know what? When you watch Raw, since you're a referee, do you kind of like study what they're doing? Or, I mean, I used to umpire baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would go to baseball games, I would catch myself kind of looking to see if I could pick up any, little, I don't know, like the way they call the strike for the ball. Yeah, little movements.
Yeah.
Do you do that?
Absolutely, 100%. So it's funny because ever since I started reffing, I watch the refs probably more than I watch the wrestlers now.
Yeah.
So if I ever catch something weird, if a referee slides in front of the camera at the wrong time, I'll notice that.
Right.
And things that you would never really notice unless you are a ref and you're kind of training and practicing to be a ref.
Do you ever say you made a boo-boo?
I do, or I'll tell I watch wrestling with my roommate who's not even a wrestling fan, and I'll just tell him all about the reffing and stuff. So he's pretty much an expert at this point, or not an expert, but he knows what I know.
Right.
And I'll let him know, that's some great officiating right there. You see what he did here? It's he saw that they, I don't even know, delivering a message or whatever it is.
Now, when you're a referee, and Butcher, you took some classes that because you went to Santino's, and you went to Santino's. What is it they focus on? What do you learn as a referee? I mean, what's the most important thing? Because they just feel like you're just there. You feel like you're there. As fans, we see the referee, and we're just like, oh, he's just there to be there. But I've been told that the referee is probably one of the most important people in the ring, right?
Absolutely. A good referee can make a good match great. The referee's very active, so my training in Santino's was really focused a lot on wrestling at first, learning roles and bumps and everything that a wrestler would learn. But when the wrestlers would do their practice matches, I would ref them. So just learning positioning, and that's one reason why Chaos and Robbie had me wrestle, or why I also wanted to wrestle, was because if you learn how to roll, then you know when a wrestler's going to roll. If you know where a bump is supposed to go and how a bump is supposed to look, then as a referee you can kind of make sure that wrestlers are taking safe bumps, and you just have a better understanding for how wrestling works.
I remember I think a couple of times that we did it, and it's just the cardio to keep it consistent, because even when you go out and perform, as a referee, you do one match and you do another, it gets pretty burned out, exhausting. And I remember one time, I did it at Lucha Pro, and a referee actually did not make it. So they asked me, and then, I got no referee experience, but, I have a general idea. And when I did it for the entire show, I was extremely burned out.
Yeah.
I was just I was getting a little sloppy. I wasn't even focusing on the when to do the disqualification. I mean, it's a concentration thing in there too.
It is, yeah. It's a great point. Two very important points there. First is cardio. That was something that Santino's really helped me with.
Right.
I came into wrestling not really being an athlete or really being in great shape, so getting there, having to do 100 push-ups, and you can't even do 20 is tough. And you can't make an excuse. You can't say no. Why are you quitting? Everyone else is doing it. So you push through and just kind of really pushing yourself when you don't feel like going anymore. And then also the concentration. Very important. That's why I drink Red Bull. Just to stay focused in the ring, because if you're not paying attention, then something will happen and you'll miss it, and then you can screw up the entire match.
That's just that too. But the fans will catch on. Rev, aren't you paying attention? And they'll call you out on it. Yeah. And I know I've been called out.
Yeah.
You're always called out. Have you been called out on by a fan? Or?
I had a "Ref you suck" chant almost start, and I heard it starting, and fortunately, everybody makes mistakes, and I knew I'd made a mistake, and the fan caught it, and he started the chant, but I realized that I needed to start really getting my head in the game and not make another mistake, otherwise I would have lost the fans. So fortunately, it wasn't the whole arena, chanting "Ref, you suck," but I heard one fan say it, and I was like, oh man, this isn't good.
I didn't think referees would honestly get like a chant. Again, because we take it, as a fan, we don't think the referee is as important. We just feel like, oh, he's there to do the 1, 2, 3, and then the DQ or something, and the next thing you know, we've had like Justin Borden, who said like the referee's job is to be there but not be there, like not let the fans see that you're there.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I didn't know, and then the cardio especially, I didn't know. I just thought like, oh, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I've only done one marathon show by myself. Mm-hmm. It's for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood in my first year. I guess no other ref showed up that day, and we couldn't get anyone to come. So I think it was maybe 10 to 12 matches by myself. And granted, they're shorter matches because they're television, but still, I was going, and they kept asking me, you okay, you need a break? I was like, no, let's just go.
You're on a roll, you're on fire.
Yeah, that's what Robbie and Joey really prepared me for, days like that.
No, they'll give you the tools for that, that's for sure. It just takes me back that, when referees became so important. If you remember, I don't know if you were followed back in, I'm sure you remember Danny Davis. Mm-hmm. And you know how WWF at the time, referees were just kind of like, they'll get hit or get bumped. But when Danny Davis turned heel, that's when the whole referee, Nick Patrick was one of them also that turned heel. And then you had the two twins at the time with Hogan, with
Earl Hebner and
Earl and Dave,
I didn't think they were related.
Yeah. I didn't even know he had a twin. You don't have a twin, do you?
No. Okay. Or do I?
You might. He might have one. So when did you decide? Did you go in originally to Santino's to be a ref?
I did. I've always wanted to be a part of wrestling. I've always really loved it, and I just decided that I didn't want to be a wrestler because it's a lot of damage on your body, obviously. So I thought that being a ref would allow me to be in the ring, really be a part of the match, but not necessarily have to be as athletic and, do everything that the wrestlers have to do.
Yeah. And you've already been refereeing how many years now?
About 4 years now.
4 years, and you've been very busy with a lot of great promotions.
Yeah, no, I'm very fortunate. One of the refs that trained me was Jason McCord, and he was reffing at AWS at the time. So maybe a year into my career, he left me his spot. So I was able to go in and transition into that show, which is obviously a great show. And then also brought me to Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I was doing Santino's, and then from there it just kind of branched out.
Now, was he part of the Pacific Mania?
I don't think so. Were
you
there for that one?
When we did Santino's did the show on Pacific Boulevard right here at the street fair?
Oh, was it an outside show?
It was outside
on the street.
Okay, no, I don't think so.
And kind of like WrestleMania 3 type.
Yeah.
No, you want to?
No, because I know we ran in this area and we did it indoors.
Oh, okay.
That's the one in
the Legion.
The Legion, right? Yeah. Right here in HP, the one that the place right here in the corner.
Yeah, it's not that far off.
Oh yeah,
right by the Gage Bowl.
Yeah, right by Gage Bowl. Thank you. See, well, I'm sorry, I forgot.
No,
So how long do referees when you go to the school? Was it what you expected, first of all, or was it more...
I didn't know what to expect, honestly. Like, I had read books of wrestlers. I knew about Hulk Hogan getting his leg broken, when he first showed up, to train. So I didn't know what to expect. Tyler Bateman was there. Ruby Reyes was there, and they were definitely intimidating. And Robbie was leading the class, and he told me just to get in and start reffing, and I was like, "What do you mean? what do I do? I don't know. Like, I've been watching wrestling my whole life, but I guess I never paid attention."
When he asks you to do something.
He's like, "So you want to be a ref? Get in the ring, start reffing." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I must have been horrible." I mean, I don't know anybody's good on their first day, but I was probably just absolutely terrible.
What did you do? Do you remember who was in the ring when you first started? I mean, were they Ruby and Tyler?
Yeah, Ruby and Tyler. I don't remember which other students were wrestling or learned training at the time, but I specifically remember them because they were really good,
right?
And I didn't really know of them too well at the time, so I just remember thinking, man, these students are really good.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, they both had years of experience.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm just showing the fans my bumps.
Why?
You know what? I need to work out. It's been a while. Look at how small they got.
I'm surprised you went for a referee. I know you say you didn't want all the bumps and bruises of the wrestler, but you were a wrestling fan growing up.
Yeah, definitely.
DX,
Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, Razor Ramon, all those guys.
Attitude Era.
Yeah, well, he said Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, so I started watching wrestling when I was like 3, around that time, with my older brother, who's 5 years older than me. So we would rent all the tapes together. So at that time, that was Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, like early 90s.
Yeah.
And then he stopped watching, and I just kept watching.
Did you wrestle in the living room with your brother?
I wrestled, yeah. I'd wrestle with anything, if I had like a doll or whatever to get my hands on.
Did you go by the WWE names?
Or
did you create your own name?
I think I was like Heartbreak Chair.
Heartbreak Chair.
What was your finisher?
I think I actually used the sharpshooter, which is kind of weird now that I think about it.
A little mix of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
I don't remember what I called it like the Deathlock, something weird. I don't even remember, but I had like my own little storyline for myself.
Really? Yeah.
Of course. It's the best.
Did you do any backyard wrestling?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah.
What did your family take it that you were going to do this kind of fun stuff?
My parents are very supportive of me. I'm lucky in that no one has ever really discouraged me from pursuing it. My mom says, go for it. I told her I wanted to do it. And she said, all right, do it. You should.
Come back with a broken bone.
Yeah, you should. She's super nervous, especially when I was training to learn how to wrestle, because I'd always be bumped and bruised and stuff. She was upset. I had a concussion at one point, so she was upset about that, obviously.
How did you get a concussion? Just from a bad bump, like one of the wrestlers pushed, or?
It was actually from a flying belt that hit me in the back of the head. I was counting the 3, and then a wrestler threw the belt in and kind of, I guess, miscalculated where the belt was going to land, and it ended up hitting me in the back of the head.
Gosh.
And then,
dang, is that the
wrestling.
worst injury you had? I mean,
yeah, definitely.
God, I bet, I'd be
Belt in the head.
Your mom probably thought like I did right now, like, oh, did you take a bad bump?
Yeah.
No, Mom, it was
it was bad, but she's still very supportive. She watches me on TV all the time.
Yeah.
She's my biggest fan.
So, are you by any chance thinking maybe Ring of Honor, WWE?
I would
TNA?
like to go anywhere that I can get in and that provides me an opportunity. Anywhere that advances my career, I'd be happy to be. Definitely, I'm trying to branch out. I did train for a day at Ring of Honor when I was on the East Coast. I'd worked the CZW show, like we had mentioned before the show started. So I got to train at the Ring of Honor school, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I've done ring crew for them once. I mean,
how
honestly,
different is it from what you learned from like the stuff you learned at Ring of Honor than by Santino's? Because I know Santino's tries to get you pretty much everywhere, but I'm sure you go to Ring of Honor. It's like I'm guessing kind of like these guys that go from the Indies to NXT or Ring of Honor to NXT TNA to NXT or WWE. There's always like a big difference.
Yeah.
In ring style.
I think it was just different spots and different warm-ups, but it kind of felt the same in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of the vibe at their school reminded me of Santino's a lot.
Yeah, because I remember they says it doesn't matter. It's good to learn new moves, new ideas from different schools. So I think that's pretty cool that especially Ring of Honor was to do that.
Yeah.